It's your thing.
And you're ready
We
like
just start.
a can of Campbell's soup.
Hard knock season, baby. Man, Campbell, kneecap soup.
Hey, you'd be proud of me for how quickly I watched the first one.
I was incredibly impressed. I'm used to you not watching any Hard Knocks, and now I got someone to talk with.
Let alone
accurate.
Yeah. So first episode was great. I mean, I thought my favorite part was Deuce Staley and Aaron Glenn. I was like, why am I blanking his name now?
I know, I blank on his name too. But
shit talking each other during practice. The funniest shit. Oh my god,
amazing,
so good.
I guarantee you haven't seen this movie.
In the meeting room, just being like, "I love you, brother."
Yeah. Oh, they're like best friends. I love it. That's totally just guys being dudes. I know you haven't seen this movie. It's an okay movie, but there's an epic scene. It's Sorry to Bother You, and it's like the nice off, where it's like, I hope you have a great day. You smell wonderful. I love your shirt. And it's like the most aggressive way to be talking to each other, but they're totally, you can tell like they fucking hate each other, but they're saying like the nicest things possible. It's
drive-by insults.
Right. And I was going to tweet the clip, and Warren Sharp beat me to it, and I was so disappointed. And so I just had to take the L on that one.
I know, because you were just trying to beat to the loads of Twitter followers before he could, you know?
I know. And especially comparing me to like Warren Sharp with like tens of thousands. I don't even know how many he has, but I guarantee it's like 50K. Anyway, great follow. Definitely follow him. Funny dude and very, very knowledgeable.
Except for that time last year when he made fun of Micah Parsons.
Never make fun of Micah Parsons. That's a
Do you remember that?
No.
It was some like weird design play in the preseason or early in the season where he did some weird like turnaround. I don't know, some weird looking thing.
And where he was like a fake spy, and then he ended up dropping and stuff like that.
Right,
and he thought he was like lost.
Yeah,
and then football people were like, no, that's like an actual thing. He was trying to trick the quarterback. Like he tried to get like the running back, I think, to step up and block him. And then so that way it was like creating easier for the edge, and Mike is fast enough to like drop back in coverage because the dude's an absolute animal. I don't know what you do with him. He's a cheat code on defense.
He's gonna be ridiculous.
But we're the guys in room 619.
Oh, we forgot about that part. Yeah.
I'm Dennis. That's Zach. We talk sports, betting, DFS. Can't wait for that. And just whatever the hell else. And we've been breaking down divisions. We got the NFC North, my division. Double meaning behind the shirt. Hard Knocks, obviously.
Oh, wow. Good call.
But we got NFC North, and I love this shirt. And so I'm ready to get going, bro.
Me too.
I love it. All right. So we got NFC North. So we have superlatives from me. We get Zach's thoughts on those. Zach has storylines. We get my thoughts on those. And that's how we choose to break it down. Try to be a little bit different than everyone else. And so the first category is highest finisher that might surprise. This won't surprise Zach. This won't surprise people who listen to the show frequently. This won't surprise people in my fantasy league or people that know I'm a Bears fan, but it's Darnell Mooney.
Khalil Herbert. Oh, wow.
You know he's going to get listed. He's just a different superlative. But Mooney's wide receiver 31 in best ball underdog ADP, which I know is 0.5 PPR, not full PPR, but still, that's criminal. 31, get out of town. I don't know what you're thinking.
I don't understand it because I don't know the exact number, but the targets were absurd last year.
Oh, I know, 140, 11th in the
God damn. Yeah. And they did nothing to like make anybody go, oh, those are going to get taken.
All right, you took away one of my points. A-Rob left, and then they signed literally nobody who can play football that's any good. Like Equimania, St. Brown, Byron Pringle, N'Keal Harry. Sorry,
Mustache Man.
But anyway, he already broke out, guys. 81 catches, 1,055 yards, 4 touchdowns, including 1 running. Wide receiver 23 in year 2. That's a breakout. Like 100%. It already happened.
Especially for like his draft capital.
Yeah. 5th round. He's going from year 2 to year 3. He's already shown he improved year 1 to year 2 by a lot. What do you think is going to happen in year 3? He's peaked. Maybe
he's going to poop his pants.
even then, he was wide receiver 23. If he's wide receiver 23 again, that's 8 spots better. This is like a round plus value you're getting here. Plus full season of Fields, like, and even if you think Fields sucks, which you're wrong, but if you think it did, was the QB play last year any good?
Even if he thinks Fields sucks, he's not going to suck as bad as Foles and Dalton did.
And Fields year 1. Now he's year 2.
Right.
New scheme. Like, we all agree Matt Nagy sucks and everything he did was terrible. So again, like, everything is, even if you think it's still going to be bad, there was nowhere to go but up in this offense. As far as now, he got 140 targets last year. Now he can get 170, and that wouldn't even be ridiculous. Like, 10 a game, who are they going to throw to?
Right, exactly.
They're going to be down every single game. This defense is going to be bottom 5, bottom 10. Like, it's not going to be good.
How have you not mentioned Pelvis?
Pelvis, goddamn Jones. Don't even start. I don't need him.
That's fine.
But yeah, literally nobody was added to the team. He was, like I already said, he already broke out. He's a really good player. Like, it just is what it is. I feel like people just like want to hate on him because he's not like 6'2" and 220. So what? He's 5'10" and a half, like 183. Okay.
Brandon Cooks.
Tyler Lockett.
Right.
Like Hollywood Brown. Like, you don't have to be huge. You can't put hands on anybody anymore. And like, his release packages are dope. He literally, him and Fields lived together for weeks at a time. Training.
Where did he go to school again? Didn't he go to some
Tulane.
random, like, okay, yeah, I knew it was something like totally not football.
Green Wave.
Division I, whatever.
Right. It's just like, he's got that chip in his shoulder. We'll get back to that a little bit later. But he, like, I just feel like it's just silly that he's going RB31.
Why do you keep talking about chips? I know first we're talking about Pringles. Now you're talking about chips.
You brought up Pringles.
You did. You were talking about wide receivers and you talking about Pringles.
I can't help his name's Pringle. You said Pringle can. You brought it up. I think you're
hungry. Have cans on your shirt.
That's true. And I have cans under my shirt, but that's not neither here nor there. But anywho, he's good. Backup choice wasn't even Herbert. It was Amon-Ra St. Brown going literally 1 pick earlier than him. Also criminal. More on that later. Zach, you're not going to like this one, so you might want to earmuffs, but also I kind of want to hear you fight back.
Okay.
The lowest finisher that might surprise, and honestly, this was really hard, but I'm just going off where he's going in drafts, and it's DeAndre Swift. He's RB9, pick 16, which is 204. So, like, this is a primo pick. Like, you were the 8 slot, right? If I'm doing my math right. So you probably maybe got a running back, but you probably went wide receiver first round. And so now this is like your RB1 that you're counting on. You're not going to pick again for like 20 picks. I know he was RB3, I think, in points per game last year in the 11 games that he plays. I know he catches passes. I know he's uber athletic. His like dead leg is bananas. He has a good O-line. Detroit's O-line should be like top 5. But I wonder, how much is Jamal Williams going to play? They split time.
I like Jamal Williams as a player a lot.
He can play. And, like, if you watch Hard Knocks, he's a big part of that team.
My argument for that is, other than that, and they got Amon-Ra, like, I'm not a Hawk guy. Like, to me, if Hawk was
good, but he's not special.
Yeah, but if he was what we want or thought he'd be, like, we would have known by now.
He's not Kittle. He's not Kittle. And people want him to be Kittle, and he's not.
It's exactly right.
But he's good.
I mean, Chark, I think, is going to be, whatever. He's fine. He's just a guy. Like, he's going to
help the
teams. Yeah, exactly.
Would love him on the Bears.
But, like, aside, honestly, you could see Jamal Williams being the, 4th option in this offense. So
could be a Javonte, Mel Gordon split. Not true 50-50, but if it's close to 50-50, I don't think that's what RB9 and pick 16 is saying. You know what I mean? Like, he's going before Javonte.
I think garbage time is going to have a huge factor here.
That could be. That's a good argument.
Hey, our guy just said today, I saw on Twitter, he just said he's rushing and receiving for 1,000. So eat his balls.
Wow. All right. So that's good. A couple other things. There's a reason people say he was RB3 in points per game, not RB3 for the season. Just because he only played 11 games. He got hurt in college. He gets hurt in the pros. Maybe gets hurt again. I'm very, very risk averse early in drafts. I do not want to play around round 1, round 2. So again, that's part of the reason why he's not my guy. I just been burned too many times. Round 1, round 2, going the upside. And secondly, I'm not positive the offense is going to still run through him.
You want
just
you want
start
some
the
pizza?
season. I mean, I don't know what's going on here.
A pizza dough's nuts.
I thought you were going Little
DeAndre's
Caesars.
gonna teabag the shit out of you, bitch.
I'm not worried about this. Little Caesars. I thought you were making a Little Caesars Detroit joke, and I was gonna commend you for that because that's a deep pull.
Shout out Little Caesars, greatest commercial producers of all time.
Their commercial game is phenomenal.
It's not even close.
Nah, it's gotta be low budget too, and they just knock it out the park.
And like some of their best ones, like 15 seconds long.
That's how you do it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna power through you trying to stop me from shit.
I'm sorry, I'm just having a ball right now.
But I'm not sure the offense runs through him anymore. So the first, he played through I think the first 11 games or 10 games, and they got hurt. They were 0-10-1 to start the season, so they lost everything, or at least didn't win everything. Then he missed 6 games, and they won 2 of them. And those 6 games was when Amon-Ra that broke out, and the offense started running through him. And even when he came back for that Week 17 game, he played 54% of the snaps. He scored like 10 points, which is fine. But again, I'm just not confident that's the guy I want that early in the draft. I'd rather have guys like Aaron Jones, Debo, Mike Evans, my boy Javonte, which is in a much better offense, and Tyreek, because I trust him more. I think that's fair.
Say that list again.
Debo, Aaron Jones, Mike Evans, Javonte, Tyreek.
Mike Evans is starting to concern me slightly more with how Chris Godwin's rehab is going.
Yeah.
I think Julio is going to be a nice part-time player. So you're going to see like maybe a couple red zone targets taken away potentially. I like that zone a lot though. I like all those guys.
Yeah. And like I said, it's not so much him, it's the people behind him, and it's my personal philosophy of I don't play around early in drafts. I will reach on dudes if I trust them more because I'm just not trying to get burned, and I trust myself to find value later in drafts and adjust the boards better than most. Cocky, sure, but I think that's kind of the mentality you have to take, right? I mean, otherwise, why are you playing if you don't think you're better than people? You're just wasting your money. I guess fun. I guess fun is out there too. You could have fun. I probably should have more fun.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I mean, if it's most leagues, like let's throw down some money. But like for my most serious league, I don't even give a shit about the money.
Yeah, I agree.
Funny how that works.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. Like we could play our home league for free, and I would still be just as committed. It makes no difference to me.
And it would still be my number one league.
Yeah, and I didn't care tanking for 3 years, even though paying full league fees. Like,
right.
I'm an adult. I have a job. It's gonna be all right. Anywho, let's move on. So a little contentious. Love that. Next one, I don't think will be at all. It's the backup RB I want to have. Zach, you're on top of this. It's Khalil Herbert. RB 49, please. I will bet whatever people want to bet that he will finish better than RB 49. Going 1306, so hella late. Definitely bench player. Awesome RB4 to grab, in my opinion. Have him. He's my most rostered player in Dynasty. Absolute Dynasty buy. He's the buy of the offseason, in my opinion. That's like cheap, I guess. I guess if you could buy like JJ, that would be my buy. But I've said it before. I don't want to say it all the time. I think he's a redraft value too. He's the better outside zone scheme. New regime comes from a running back by committee, so probably at least is just going to play more just based on that because Monty played all the time. And then Monty's his last year, and then Khalil Herbert has 3 more years. So in a rebuilding team, like who are you going to try to feature and at least give the shot, right? Herbert showed he could play last year when he got the opportunity. He's more explosive than Monty. This team needs explosion. I'm all in.
They have no allegiance to either of these dudes, so like it's all going to be about evaluation for real.
Yeah, I'm 100%. And like I mean, RB 49, 13th round, like you're risking very little, and in my opinion, the upside's huge. Like I
When you're that late,
think,
and you can come up with that many solid reasons for a guy, like there's your pick. It's like the reason. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we're huge nerds, so we love NFL matchup. Why that show plays at 6:30 on Sunday mornings, I don't know. Anyway,
Criminal.
Greg Gassell, longtime member, he says that he thinks that for these reasons I just mentioned, he could usurp Monty for the starting job at the end of the season. Now, that probably doesn't happen, but if that's anywhere close to even like 60-40, that's huge for Herbert.
Right, let alone if Monty gets hurt.
Right, 100%, which he hasn't really been hurt much, but he's been dinged up here and there, and, he's getting older. RBs, it's the most vulnerable position. You can't predict it. So, yeah, that's all I got for that. Were you thinking Jamal Williams there? Oh, yeah. Would you rather have him as your backup RB than you want?
Probably, because I think the ceiling and floor is better.
I can see that. I didn't count AJ Dillon. I think he's like a Kareem Hunt type, where it's like he is standalone value.
Right.
Like I wouldn't be surprised if he's over 1,200 yards total and like 8 TDs and like is an RB like I don't know 20. You know what I mean?
Wouldn't shock me.
Yeah. This next one kind of cheated, so it's late round best ball guy.
You're a teacher.
I pretty much like Green Bay Packer wide receivers, because a lot of them are going really late. I went with Romeo Doubs just because I'm starting to kind of buy the hype, which I know it's crazy Banana Town season and like things just happen. Like Jamar Chase can't catch a football.
Right. Yeah, we were clowning the shit out of that guy last preseason.
But also, like, sometimes things do happen. Like, Cooper Kupp was, like, training camp darling rookie, and all of a sudden he busted out and almost won Rookie of the Year. I'm buying the hype. He's going wide receiver 67, 1205. So, again, crazy late. His ADP is skyrocketed. So, if you got him back in, like, May, you were probably in, like, the 18th, 19th round, which is awesome for you. But
oh, yeah.
Lazard is wide receiver 37, Watkins wide receiver 80. Somebody's going to do well. I'm very confident in that. Aaron Rodgers, right? Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's going to be nearly as good as he's been MVP, best quarterback in the league last 2 years. But it's not like he's going to be bad. They're just going to pass less because that's how the team is going to be defense and run game, which makes sense.
And they have a good coaching staff. Like they're going to do whatever works.
LaFleur is, as much as I don't want to give him credit, it has to be elite at creating separation because Packers are consistently under his leadership the number one team in creating separation. Obviously Devontae Adams is Devontae Adams, but
right,
one wide receiver doesn't make a core. You know what I mean?
So there was a lot of talk in the offseason about vacated targets and how you can't just pencil in Lazard to being that good because I don't know, whatever. And I'm like, you can't, or people are saying like Lazard's like in his 5th year or whatever,
He is what he is.
He is what he is. And I'm like, well, he already has like shown like he can go out and make plays, like make good plays. And 2, we've never seen a vacated target scenario like what we're witnessing in Green Bay. Like it just hasn't happened.
Adams was over 30% the last 2 years, like 30% target share, like never happens.
Insane. Yeah.
And it never happens from a dude as good as Aaron Rodgers and an offense as good as Matt LaFleur is constructing.
So we just have, I don't know, to me it's like there's no way you can't quantify what's about to happen. And to me, watching the Packers like eyeball test, you can tell that Rodgers trusts Lazard. And like,
Well,
because
and now,
some of the situations he's been willing to go to him, and I really like Lazard this year. Big fan.
no, I think Lazard's really good, and I think one of the things Rodgers is best at is ball placement and back shoulders, and Lazard's 6'5", so that's a big target to hit. And
Yes.
I think he's counted on. Like it is what it is. He's a leader of that wide receiver room by veteran presence and like what he has done. He has had good weeks. So I definitely think 37 is great value for Lazard. I think, but I also think Dobbs is absolutely a good one because like one, it's cheap, and then like he looked the part preseason week 1. He was good. And like you were saying, that offense isn't just gonna suck all of a sudden.
Right.
I get it. You can't just be like, oh well, Devontae got 140 targets or 150 targets, so now the number one receiver is gonna get 150 targets. Like I don't think either one of us are even close to saying that. Like no one's trying to say he's gonna be Adams in wide receiver 1 or anything like that. What we're saying is he could be like a wide receiver 2. Like he could be like a really good player and get like 8-9 targets a game from Aaron Rodgers. Like, yeah, I want that.
Sign me up. Right.
Right. Like obviously I think Aaron Jones is gonna be the biggest benefactor of Adams leaving. And then after that, I think probably AJ Dillon. But that doesn't mean you just ignore the wide receivers and let them fall towards wide receiver 4, wide receiver 6, and a wide receiver 8. Like, that's value if it's coming from a quarterback like Rodgers.
Right. I'm just standing by I'll believe a rookie wide receiver produces with him when I see it.
I think that's fair too, because it's never happened.
Right. And I don't believe for half a second that he is better than Adams or Jordy Nelson. So if they couldn't earn his trust,
yeah, I think a devil's advocate argument would be like when Jordy was there, like Greg Jennings was already established. You know what I mean? Like there were more established wide receivers. When Adams was there, you had Jordy established, and so like I get what you're saying, but I just think this is like Wild West rules where like I don't know who you're gonna go with, and if I'm someone that does multiple best ball drafts, I'm sprinkling some of everybody. I have the most Lazard because I like him the best, but now I'm trying to get some Dobbs. I've got plenty of Watkins. I just want to mix it around because I think somebody
Watkins.
Yeah, but I mean, wide receiver 80 is like literally like my last pick.
That's
you wouldn't take your last. Yeah, you wouldn't take your last pick in the draft.
That's fair. Yeah.
Right. Like, I mean, if it happens, and best ball drafts are huge. So, like, you never know. You just got to take random shots. All right. But anyway, so Packer wide receivers, wait on them, but try to grab at least one. That would be my recommendation. It's kind of like with KC. I feel like people are just like, I'm going to take at least somebody and see what happens. Although, did you see two things before we move on? One, Packers wide receivers. Did you see they got called out by Rodgers like in practice and like in the media? And then this morning they had they had all the QBs, they had the key members of the passing coaching staff in a meeting with all the rookie wide receivers, with all the young wide receivers, and like basically Rodgers just like tore him a new asshole and told him like the standard is the standard here, and like Packers wide receivers have a legacy. And then like Lazard and Cobb also spoke as well and just said, like, if you don't like it, you can leave. Like, this is what it is. Right. And it was like just telling him like you don't have to be here if you don't want to put in this. Cause like he was like saying like those 3 interceptions that happened to Love, like none of them. He was saying Rodgers basically was saying none of them were on Love. They're all on the wide receivers. And he's just like, we need better stuff right now. And like, yeah, that's why like read that article I posted in chat. It's bananas. I'll retweet it. But it's definitely some trouble in the Bay, in my opinion. And then the second thing,
like it.
Did you see Mecole got carted off the field?
I did not. Yeah, is that Alex's fault? I think it is.
Don't do that to him. Don't do that. He's El Captain, El Capitan. Yeah, I mean, it would make Alex right though. He's definitely Sky Moore. I mean, his ADP's climbing, but he's definitely someone I'm looking at. And Juju, I think the more snaps each of them play with.
His ADP is straight to the sky. People want some more.
I don't think I should reward that.
You shouldn't.
And this is someone that bought a $10 book of 160 dad jokes like 4 days ago, and I love it. It makes me so happy. I'm just giggling. But I'm gonna move on.
Mine aren't good enough.
They weren't. Hey, what's red and smells like blue paint?
Red paint.
Red paint.
Do you want to know how I knew that?
Why?
Because of the joke, what's brown and sticky?
I love that joke.
A stick.
But classic, right? Just so good. My students get so mad at me when I do those jokes. All right, favorite Dynasty player. It's Amon-Ra, thank God. Amon-Ra St. Brown, aka the Sun God. Detroit Lions, love this guy. Even though he's a Lion, he was one of my favorite wide receiver prospects. Was flabbergasted that he lasted into the 4th round. More on that later. But the last 6 weeks, he had prestigious production. Wide receiver 2 behind only Cooper Kupp, who happened to break the fantasy football record for most points by a wide receiver, more than any Jerry Rice season.
He did that.
Like, this is the only dude that beat him out the last 6 weeks.
That's telekinesis, Dennis.
Hands out to freaking Tenacious D. I was listening to Tribute. This is just a tribute. But anyway, he's got a great makeup. Like, he has absolutely got that dog in him, which I know has become like a meme now, and it is a funny meme. I like that term.
Same. I hate it because, like, I don't want to sound like that guy, but like that's like something like I feel like we've been saying it for like a long time, and so
I've been saying that since why I liked Waddle better than Judy when Judy was coming out, because Judy did alligator arms. He doesn't have that dog in him, and now it's like, I get it is funny. I like the meme. I like of the X-ray of the dog.
Right,
but
totally.
I'm also like, I hate that it's ironically used now because it's a good term.
Yeah, but now that like once you got a like a Skip Bayless who will say it or something, now you're just like, God damn it.
I know, because it's like you can just see it when you watch certain players. Like they want it more than you.
It's like conservative boomers using woke, which cracks me up because I'm like, you guys aren't even using it in the way that we like started using it. No, we like started using woke to like make fun of like tin hat conspiracy theorists. Oh, that guy's woke, and now they think it. Never mind. Go ahead. Stay woke, bro.
So, shout out Childish Gambino. Stay woke. Boop, 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 boop. All right, sorry, too much music. Anyway,
ADHD in full swing tonight.
We don't have the rights to any of this. We're gonna get sued because we have so many followers. So very few rookies display what he did. He was a league winner. Like he was the best rookie to end the season since Odell Beckham. Like, remember, like every single.
But yes, he was.
Right. Like, literally was. Like, just like Odell. Like, every single person that won the league had freaking him, Odell that year, and then, like, this past year either had Amon-Ra or Penny. One of the two. Like, straight up, you had to have one of them or you lost. You didn't win it all. And he was wide receiver 21 for the whole season. So if you want to say, 6 games. Well, those 6 games were obviously pretty damn good. And then it's just like, I just feel like that the offense looked different. The team looked different under him. And that's why part of the reason I'm not the biggest DeAndre Swift guy, but also I just think he just showed like he showed some of the Goff. He showed some of this coaching staff. I think he's absolutely going to be a featured member. I think people are sleeping on him. So a little dynasty talk. I straight up, after Allen Robinson signed with the Rams, I offered Allen Robinson to receive Amon-Ra St. Brown back straight up. Immediate accept, no talk. People clown me in the chat. This is back in like March or whatever. I'm like, 1, I wanted my wide receiver core to be younger. And 2, talk to me at the end at this time in 1 year. Which one would you rather have? Talk to me in 2 years. Which one would you rather have? This is dynasty, baby. Straight up, I think Amon-Ra is going to outscore Allen Robinson this year. I already have that as a bet with one of my buddies.
I don't think that's an
Like,
outrageous statement at all.
no. You got a rising player versus declining player, and I love Allen Robinson, but he's also like 28. He's never been athletic. He looked like ass in Chicago. Like, I'm just saying, like, and he's played in Chicago under Nagy multiple years, and only one of them looked bad, and it was the last one.
Okay.
So I know he is Stafford, whatever. Anyway, I made the trade. Unfortunately, someone I made an offer I couldn't refuse. They offered me Devontae Adams, and I had to give up Amon-Ra Rojo. That was an easy accept for me.
Oh, yeah.
So I did not get younger. I got older at wide receiver, but I also think I got better because I basically turned Allen Robinson. I turned Allen Robinson, Allen Robinson and Rojo into Devontae Adams, which I will do 100 times out of 100.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got. I love Amon-Ra. He's the sun god. I love tweeting the gif of the guy turning into a flame and just shooting fire. I hate that it's not in Sleeper, but I
know. What a bummer. Honestly,
I don't know what to search. I just search Sun God on Twitter. It pops up, but it doesn't pop up anywhere else.
All of 3 of my storylines, we practically just got into conversation naturally and covered.
Oh, shit.
First one was a cop out on the Packers and the wide receivers, but like that is like that major and obvious that like I didn't want to find something else.
I agree.
Lions for me, I'm going to be looking at just how the offense can progress and how these guys get used, because we all know that Jared Goff ain't the guy next year. They're going to draft a rookie. You know, it's probably going to be Stroud or Young. And so, like, I think this season is about how to utilize the pieces they have. It's going to be about working Jameson back into the lineup and, just getting the young guys experience. So I think, yeah, it's just about how do we, not how, but what do we see out of this offense, to try and move forward for the future.
I agree.
But I mean, we kind of, same thing. We talked about them a lot. And then for the Bears, it was going to be, what is it besides Mooney? And once again, we hit on all that.
And we mentioned Kmet. I know that's someone you like. I know you got him in some season-long bets, right?
Yeah, it blows my mind still. 3.5 touchdowns was his line.
Mm-hmm.
Which is just stupid. But we're going to go to the Vikings because we haven't talked about them at all. This is a very boring vanilla team. There's nothing, especially fantasy-wise, like this, it's Cook, it's JJ, it's Thielen, and you sprinkle a little bit else around.
They got 2 first-round picks, which no other team has that. Like, if you're not taking Dalvin Cook or JJ in the first 12 picks, I don't know what the hell your draft is doing.
Right.
So like, far.
There's not like, this isn't like a crazy team to break down from a fantasy standpoint.
Yeah,
but
I agree there.
My storyline for them is going to be their defense and how it's going to
fall apart at the last minute when the game's on the line.
Yeah.
Like in 2021, historically bad.
How are they going to handle wide receivers this year? Because this was a pretty easy target spot last year.
And now they lost Zimmer.
Yeah, and so then with bringing in, was it O'Connell they got?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's really talking about that dude. I don't know much about him. But like, I don't know. I'm curious to see how they handle themselves as a fantasy defense, because it was a pretty easy wide receiver target last year. So since there's nothing really exciting, not exciting because JJ, man.
I got some counter storylines that while you were talking kind of sparked. If you want me to ask you. All right, we'll go reverse. We'll go opposite. We'll snake draft. So we'll start with the Vikings. Do you think JJ could be wide receiver 1? Or, do you think JJ would be wide receiver 1?
Yes.
I do too. I would take him over Kupp if given the opportunity in redraft. Obviously, Dino, he's easily wide receiver 1. But I think in redraft, I would take him over him.
Same.
Yeah, I like that he brought in Kevin O'Connell, which is from the Rams. So I think he very much could see a similar role to Kupp, and I think he's just flat out better, like talent wise, than Kupp.
Talent.
I think he's better.
Yeah.
I think he's better than everyone talent wise.
Right.
And so I any chance you can get JJ, like pretty much, I'm okay with him going 102 in redrafts behind JJ. I am behind JT. I mean,
I'd still take CMC 101.
so would I. But would you be like, you're an idiot?
If someone took JJ? No.
I would have
Okay,
even think twice. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
I saw a clip on ESPN, on Twitter from ESPN Fantasy. I think it was from the fantasy pod they do. And there was a woman talking, and it was not Stefania. I don't know who it was.
Yeah, Liz Lola. She's not really, but basically Matthew Berry's replacement.
Okay. And the first thing I saw of her was a clip of her saying that you can't draft CMC because he's missed games last 2 years. And I'm like, that's bad analysis.
Well, especially when you consider he'd never missed a pro game before the last 2 seasons, and he missed 1 game in college due to injury, and I think 4 seasons. I think he played to his senior year.
I don't know for sure, but yeah, it's not.
He was injury proof until he wasn't. Like, it's not like he blew his knee out. You know what I mean?
Right. I would say he's had injuries that are like, they're just injuries. They're not like career altering ones.
I agree. And he's still very much in his prime. Every game he played last year, he was like 25 points.
He was
plus.
still ridiculous, even though he was not
had shit around him. He's the only guy in the freaking team. Like everybody knows, stop him, and they still can't.
There's a really common phrase among Jaguars fans is that the Jaguars are bad until they aren't. And
like the Bills, like Kansas City.
Right. And yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah, I do agree. Every chance I've had 102, I've taken CMC because I do think he is like a 1B kind of player in this draft. But I would 100% stamp of approval JJ 102 just because I think he's that special, and nobody has done what he's done his first 2 years, and he did it with Kirk Cousins, and he's just that guy. All right, so go back to the Bears. Do you think anybody besides Mooney and Kmet do anything receiving wise?
No.
Anybody?
I think I actually took Pelvis Jones in our best ball because I think if he might be a guy
like round 20.
Yeah, I remember it was in the yards per one. It was real late.
Yeah,
because I think combination of garbage, his skill set is gonna be the quick dump, get him some yak, get him in space, and then a combo of those two plus the coaching staff being the regime that took him and wanting to utilize him.
Yeah, I am 100% with you. I don't think anybody's doing anything besides those two. I think they're absolute target hogs and someone that you should target. And I wouldn't touch anybody else besides Herbert and maybe Monty if he falls very far, like RB 26.
Where's he going?
He's going in the Mooney, Amon-Ra, that kind of plateau, and at least in best ball. Yeah.
Wow.
So I mean, he's falling a lot. So I have gotten him in a few leagues just because it kind of makes sense.
Right.
But at the same point, I'm not just I just don't. One, I didn't target him last year when he was coming off RB4. I just don't think he's that special. He's never had. I don't think he's ever had 4 yards per carry in a season, which I know isn't the end all be all, but it's just like I just don't think he's all that special. He's not a great athlete. He's all dependent on volume, and that's a very risky play in my opinion.
And yeah, say 100% he has been dependent on volume and touchdowns.
Yeah, touchdowns, big time. So he's going pick 60. So again, a pick after Mooney, 2 picks after Mooney, 1 pick after Ahmad Ra. And then he's going RB 21, which I'd rather take a risk on like AJ Dillon. You know what I mean? It's just a better offense and something I want more part of.
That's crazy that Amon Ra is people are drafting at the same spot as Monty.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
All right, Lions. So again, I agree we kind of covered what we need to cover. They were 35 touchdowns last year, bottom 8. Do you think they remain a bottom 10 in touchdowns offense again? Or do you think they're better?
I say bottom still.
You think bottom 10 still?
Because it's Jared Goff at the end of the day.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if it's like I'm just like wanting them to be better and like it's like spicy to go from like, oh, NFL, there's always like a worst to first kind of team. You know what I mean? So like teams get better in the offseason. And I love the O-line, which is a big thing to me. I agree Goff sucks. I don't like Goff at all. But I also just sneaky feel like this offense is just going to be better. I like the Lions. I think they could finish like 9-8, which is crazy. But I also I don't know.
I'm not that high on them, but I think this is going to be a team that is going to be one of the ones this year that are just going to be a pain in the ass.
I agree there. Because outside QB, that team is dirty.
Yeah.
Last one, Packers. We talked about the wide receivers. What about the running backs? Are you as bullish on both running backs as I am? Like, do you love like Aaron Jones? You want kind of back end, and then Dillon as like a back end RB2.
Oh, I'm a big fan of both these guys. If I were to rank the Packers' weapons in terms of how I think their usage will go, it would go Jones, Lazard, Dillon.
Okay. I could see that. Would you be comfortable leading a draft? So it sounds like you'd be comfortable with Jones as your RB1. Leaving a draft.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think most people would be like, yeah, I'm fine. Would you be comfortable with Dillon as your RB2 leaving a draft?
Yes.
So would I. I love Dillon. I've been grabbing him all over. I think Packers are going to run a lot this year.
I traded him away in the one Dynasty league. I had him, like, regrettably. Like, I didn't want to do it.
But wasn't it in the, who
Saquon deal?
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
And so I just figured, like, for where my team was at, I'm ready to go. Like, if Saquon was just a better fit for my team trying to win it all.
No, I agree. I think your team's. I know it's better, like for this year than mine. I think it's one of the top in that. We have 2 leagues together, and the side league down our home league. I think Zach's got a really strong team. All right, that's all I got. You ready to move on? Cooking, booking?
Yeah.
All right. So we got a good list. Kevin Bruyne. He is cooking. I can't believe it. He's never cooking. He's cooking. That ginger, I love him to death. To steal an English broadcaster term, he had a benevolent goal.
I love it.
It was absolutely silly. He didn't even run fast. Everybody was in front of him. He had like 4 guys in front of him, and he used, everyone's afraid of him passing. He used that to just keep touching, got close to the box and said, all right, I got you. Right-footed outside the boot, curved it in around the goalie. Just absolutely sick.
Absolute cracker.
I mean, it is so hard to kick with your right foot and have the ball go from left to right. That is not easy. The natural progression is right to left.
When you sent it to me, the first thing I said was, holy shit, and it was right-footed. Because I was expecting the curl shot with the left.
Right, because it looked like a lefty taking it looked like Messi taking a shot with his left foot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It was bananas. And plus, that's not even his number one trick. Like, that's not his go-to move. He's a passer. Like,
Right.
It was just absolutely sick. That game was phenomenal. We're trying really hard to get back into EPL because I am a Man City fan and they are a blast to watch. Erling Haaland is a machine. Holy cow. He absolutely changes how the defenses plays. It's so much fun. Man City one. I loved Aguero to death. That was my favorite player originally. He's not Haaland. Like the way defenses play, it's not fair to have.
Oh yeah, he's the next level.
Yeah, it's not fair having both of them together. You can't have the best striker and the best passer. Biased, but that's how I see him. Anyway, Amon-Ra. Next one, it's Amon-Ra, which I know, homer alert, but whatever. You haven't watched Hard Knocks yet, so if you want
to earmuffs, the second episode,
yeah, you can earmuffs if you want to. But I've been live tweeting both, and my biggest complaint about week 1 was that there wasn't enough Amon-Ra because that's my guy, and They had a little feature on him. They talked about his dad, who's Mr. Universe, stuff like that. But then they talked to him, Amon-Ra, and he's like, he knows all 16 wide receivers that went before him.
This is amazing.
He knows what school they went to, and he knows the correct order in which they went in front of him. Guys like Dwayne Eskridge and Tutu Atwell.
Tutu Atwell, fucking Christ.
Over
That's awesome.
Amon-Ra.
Yeah.
Like, y'all fucked up. I saved the effort for that one. But yeah, I was so happy to see him featured because I think he's that guy, and so I loved it. I hope there's even more of him. Next cooking hurts my soul, but he deserves cooking, and I'm gonna give it to him. It's Dylan Cease once again. So he did give up 3 earned runs, just like Verlander, in a matchup of 2 guys having historical seasons. It didn't really live up to the hype, which was sad, but this is the first time in 14 starts that Dylan Cease's ERA is going to increase. Every start before this, it decreases.
That's
of the 14.
ridiculous.
Right.
Because
that's like
of what the number
season.
was.
Right. That's like most of the season. And it's still getting better, still getting better, still getting better. It's the first time since 2019 someone had 14 consecutive starts where their ERA decreased. And in case you're starting to think he's starting to slip, that was his 12th game where he got 10 swinging strikes on a slider. Most in the MLB, which like slider is like after fastball. That's like the number one like off speed. Like you know what I mean? Like that's a very common weapon that pitchers have, especially right-handed pitchers.
That's a strikeout pitch right there.
100% swinging strikes, right? And to get 10 in a game, swinging strikes is a lot.
Makes all those guys look booking.
I love that transition. Booking Malik Willis. Sorry, bro. I remember his hype season. Before from January to February.
Remember when he was maybe gonna be in number 1 pick?
Superflex number 1 pick?
Or sorry,
NFL number 1 pick?
No, yeah, that's what I meant. People
well, I remember him too.
15, for a while people were saying that he might be up there.
And people were saying Detroit number 2 would take him. Yeah, he's not doing so hot. Fantasy, I think he's still going to be fine. He's still someone I would target in Superflex just because he can run, and he did have a sick play where he scrambled to score a touchdown because he is that kind of athlete at that position. But Vrabel pulled him during the game, and when asked, the body language was horrible. His quote was, "I wanted Malik to throw the ball, and he wasn't, so I put Logan in."
Ouch.
In a game that doesn't matter, where all they're trying to do is give him a chance to get some game reps, develop, right? And he's like, "No, we can't because you're not doing what we told you to do."
And this is okay. This is exactly why I tweeted about how Treylon Burks lining up wrong and not finishing routes is actually a deal when you play for Vrabel.
Yeah, and he's like a former player, so he knows exactly what that's like. To have a head coach say something like that in the way that he said it.
Right.
So it's bad.
Yeah, now like I said, look.
Fantasy wise, I think he's gonna be fine, but he's also got to get out there to score any points. So he's definitely a taxi squad player if hopefully your league has one. And only Superflex. If I was 1 QB, I would not roster him. Next booking, one of our favorite guys to say is booking is Jimmy GQ. I guess when you look like he does, he's probably never really booking.
True.
But apparently he would just ghost the San Francisco organization after he got paid. He just would be like, nope, and just not respond to texts or calls or anything for months until OTA started. And that's part of the reason why they drafted Lance. And then as soon as they drafted Lance, then he didn't do that offseason. It's like,
Oh,
oh,
weird.
okay.
Right.
Did you learn nothing from being behind Tom Brady? Because Brady wouldn't let this happen for a second. You know what I mean?
Lose the Super Bowl, ghost your team.
Additionally, another booking part of it was Lance hit a pass 34 yards downfield in the preseason game. It was a pretty good throw. The guy was wide, butt naked open.
Butt naked open.
He was. But he hit him in stride, so good for him. He was a little outside, but whatever. It was good.
You did it!
Right. 34 yards downfield. Our boy GQ has done that once in the last 2 seasons.
That's insane. Just
Playing
insanity.
with Debo, Ayuk, and Kittle.
How?
What are we doing here, folks?
I don't know.
People are like, trade for GQ. He'll be good. How?
And
he lost them 2 Super Bowls. He lost them 2 Super Bowls. Tell me I'm wrong.
No.
It's because I'm right. You agree. You're right, too.
I will not eat cat poop.
You will eat this cat poop. God damn, Anchorman. I love this burrito, but I am full. The last one, speaking of problematic driving experiences, Tony La Russa.
Oh God. This video is so good.
It is amazing. And speaking of someone that's Chicago area, we both are, and we know White Sox fans. This is such a White Sox fan move, and I cannot believe that Tony La Russa just played ball with it. But anyway, he's that incompetent. So there's this fan that's in the front row. It's this older gentleman, and it's kind of quiet. I think it's runners first and second. It's definitely at least a runner at second. And the guy's like, "Hey, Tony, put Angle in there." Literally seconds.
Put Angle in there. Angle. And he just keeps
Angle. Right. But it's literally 5-6 seconds later.
Yeah.
He's like, you hear umpire, timeout, umpire. And Tony's walking
the field. And he does his old ass mall walking try out there to call time.
Mall walk try is a great way to put it. And all the fans what's going on? What's going on? And then all of a sudden he does his little hand things and Angle runs out there. At least do a different pitch runner, man. You gotta save face. And then afterwards they're asked about it because of course she's asked about it. He's like, "Oh, the fan had nothing to do with it." Why even respond? Be like, "What fan? What are you talking about?"
Right. That's what I was just about to say. Oh, I didn't even hear anything.
The dude's a clown. He's falling asleep during the game in the bottom of the first inning. I get you don't have to do anything early in the game.
And you're old, I get it, man, but come on.
Bottom of the first? I mean, don't get me wrong. After golf, baseball is a top-notch, maybe number 2 seed. Take a nap.
Oh, such a great taking a nap TV sport.
Damn, you're getting paid millions to manage. Come on.
Right. It's that's sad.
You can have all the people in the press box, tell you what to do based on the numbers. You don't have to really try that much. You gotta at least stay awake though. I mean, damn. Yeah, Tony La Russa. I don't know how he's still in charge there. God damn, Jerry Reinsdorf, one of the worst owners in sports. He's not a Guan.
No.
He's been lucky to have players that are Guans on his team, but he's not.
Nah, not at all.
You know who are Guans right now? Degenerate gamblers.
Very true.
We got preseason football. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm about that.
We got weeks early DFS. Hell yeah. And we got college football 10 days away where literally none of those games are going to be any good. We got Illinois versus Idaho. And I'm still going to be all for it.
I've over the last 2 years have had a lot of fun betting on college.
100%.
So yeah, let's go.
I love it. I am not good at it, but I have an absolute blast. And like every couple weekends, I do every other or every 2-3 weekends, I have a good one, and I hit a parlay, and I'm like, I know everything.
I'm
I'm
the
the
man.
smartest man alive.
Yeah, exactly.
But more than that, I'm really excited to see these 23 prospects because this class is special, and I want to see them with a year of development. These kids going from 19 to 20 or 20 to 21. I'm excited for like Jordan Addison and USC. I want to see what happens there with Lincoln Riley. I think that could be bananas. I want to see Butte and LSU. I want to see him healthy. I want to see what JSN does as like the clear guy with Garrett Wilson and Olave out because he was already the top guy in terms of like production. Um, B. John, I want to see what happens in Texas. Like, I'm just excited, man. I can't
Prospects
wait for college
galore.
football. Oh my god, it's so much fun. I love this season. Football, it's almost here, man.
No, can't wait. It's gonna be so much fun. Don't forget to buy Dennis's book.